Hello, everybody, and welcome to the White Hatter YouTube News Show. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Darren.
Let's get into some news topics, shall we?
In the news.
First news topic to talk about is Apple pays a 100,000 bug bounty for a Mac webcam hack.
Hold on, Brandon, but I was told that Mac computers don't get viruses or malware.
This is just, I add this to the show because it's just a great example to kind of inform people that, hey, there was a flaw in a Mac. Someone found a flaw.
I mean, and we're as you know, I'm a Mac fanboy, right? Like I'm an Apple fanboy, but you know,
Yes.
all our Macs, we have protection on there to protect from this, right?
Yep.
So important, because I still think there's a lot of people that are being sold Macs saying, oh, you don't have to worry about viruses, you don't have to worry about Trojans, it's a Mac, right? And all that kind of stuff. Well, no, it's under it because it's becoming so popular. Of course, the criminal element is looking to exploit it. And this is a really good example, right?
Yep. Researcher found they could access unauthorized camera controls via a shared iCloud document. So that has now been fixed. But just to let you all know that Macs do get vulnerabilities, Macs have flaws, and who knows what the next one will be.
And what's a bug bounty, Brandon? Just so that people know, especially the teens that are watching us, because a lot of them want to maybe become white hat hackers. Right? So what's a bug bounty?
A bug bounty is talk about a bounty first. A bounty is a reward for a service, or a reward for, I guess in the old time,
Bounty hunters
is catching a
Bad
criminal.
guys.
So a bug bounty in the information security world is essentially a company has a pool of money, and if you are researching and you are trying to hack them and you disclose that, hey, there was a problem before you distribute that elsewhere or do bad things with it, you'll be rewarded for that.
Exactly. I mean, and there's people that's all they do. Like that's their job, is to find exploits like this, bring it to the attention of big companies like this who are going to pay big bucks because they know how important it is for security. And Apple's a really good example of that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, that's just there so you all know that, hey, Macs get flaws, so make sure you update and maybe invest in antivirus.
I mean, and this is another reason from a safety standpoint, we still recommend to people, it doesn't matter what kind of a computer you're using, for laptops and desktops, not so much the phones, but for desktops and laptops, when you're not using your computers, close them to cover the camera, or put a little slider, like we have sliders on our MacBooks, or if you don't have that, just get a little Band-Aid. Don't use tape, don't use all those sticky paper, because that leaves a film on your lens and makes it blurry, but just put a little Band-Aid over there to prevent that from happening, right?
Yeah. Next article is a worrying Etsy listing reveals a stalking potential of Apple AirTags.
Is this like a pick on an Apple day today? Like this is the second one you got. Like what's Etsy?
Etsy is kind of like an artist marketplace where you can sell art or services and whatnot.
So what's going on with this one?
So there was an Etsy listing, which has now been removed from Etsy, where somebody had basically selling AirTags. But
before you go on, for those people who haven't watched our show, what's an Apple AirTag?
An Apple AirTag, if you haven't heard all the controversy from those yet, the little tiny trackers Apple sells that uses their Find My network. You can put it in your wallet, your keys, and track things.
Somebody else's car.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
So what's going on with this one?
So somebody had a shop, and they were taking AirTags and they were opening them up, and via fine mechanics, disabling the speaker function. So normally there's certain parameters where if your device is suspected of tracking somebody or it's been gone for too long, it'll make a little noise to indicate. So
when AirTags first came out, there was a lot of to do over this because people wouldn't know if somebody else was using an AirTag surreptitiously for tracking for nefarious reasons. So Apple came up with a countermeasure, which is if it's on and carried, it would sound an alert so that you would know if somebody tried to hide it, you would know it's there.
Yeah.
So now what the bad guys have done is they went, aha. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to go in, we're going to disable that, right? Yeah. So it's this constant cat and mouse spy versus spy game. Remember and when I was young, we had this cartoon Spy versus Spy, right? Yeah. It's constant cat and mouse game between the two.
Now the person was obviously selling these at a premium because obviously
this is an expensive way to track somebody.
I mean,
like when you think about
if someone's using these to track, they're definitely not that skilled of a tracker.
No.
I mean, there's cheaper, more powerful ways using GPS to track than just using AirTags. Yeah. So, I mean, I understand why people are focused on these and the controversy around them, given that they're more consumer accessible, but
and smaller too.
But just do an Amazon search and
no, don't do an Amazon search. Don't promote something bad.
Yeah, you can put it in your own car, track your own car. You can use GPS tracking for your own stuff.
Why?
Put
I got
in
a phone for that. My car already has a GPS in
true.
it. Just
Anyways, that's updates on that.
Is the third one you're going to talk about anti-Apple too? Or
No,
what? Thank you.
No.
Oh.
Researchers are working on a brand new method of tracking and identifying and fingerprinting people online.
Okay, now a couple things. What's a GPO?
So researchers are looking at using a GPU fingerprinting technique. So a GPU stands for your graphics processing unit.
And what does that do?
It's the chip in your computer or device that
Right.
makes pretty images appear.
Yep.
So if you're watching us, that means your GPU in some way or matter, there's a chip that makes these images happen.
Okay, so now we know what a GPU is.
Yeah.
They're not actually taking your fingerprint and fingerprinting.
No.
So what do you mean by the GPU fingerprint now?
So right now there's this the newest way of tracking people online is through fingerprinting.
Right.
So we know cookies are kind of going away. We know IP address
Digital fingerprinting, not actually the fingerprint of the human.
digital fingerprint.
okay.
We know that IP address tracking is being limited in terms of regulations.
Right.
So right now, browser fingerprinting is, some apps and websites can look at your screen size, your fonts you have installed, the
Right.
battery levels. These different variances on devices that makes your device very unique to you.
Which, from a forensic investigator standpoint, is one of the reasons why law enforcement will seize all your devices, because they can find these digital fingerprints
Yep.
that make what is being sent by you specific to your product.
Right. So a new potential. So this is all work in progress. This is all proof of concept. So it is in the early days and being developed. There are limitations, but the chips that are manufactured for your devices,
Yep.
no chip is made the same. There are small mechanical variances in the computer chips that are in your smartphone.
Right.
We might have the same whatever processor,
A10.
whatever it is right now, but physically they're not exactly the same.
Right.
So researchers are working on ways to how to analyze those differences as a way of making fingerprinting more
Digital fingerprinting.
digital fingerprinting more accurate.
So it's just another way that investigators. So one of the positive side of things, this is just another way that potential investigators can use to pinpoint that, yes, this device that you own, this message was sent, or whatever you sent was sent by your device. But number two, there's maybe issues here for people want to sell you stuff too, right?
I wouldn't be surprised the researchers are backed by some marketing agency.
And now, why would this be such a big deal for marketing agencies to use?
Well, marketing agencies are being more regulated in terms of they can't use things like IP addresses and
Yep.
cookies, right?
Yeah.
So in order to get ahead of the laws that are being enacted, they're developing new technologies that the laws don't address.
I mean, a good example is, I don't know if you saw this, but last week, Meta took a huge dive in their stock prices,
Yeah.
and they're kind of blaming it on Apple's new privacy rate, all the things that Apple has done to Meta. So this could be another way to kind of
Or
bypass
Facebook just sucks.
that. Yeah, well, depending upon what you're using it for.
I mean, true,
Right.
but I mean they've kind of limited the platform in
Oh yeah, no,
many
for sure.
ways than what it used to be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Now it's just ads.
That's true.
So I mean,
That's true. Meta.
and considering TikTok is far outweighing it in terms of the social media fight,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
gotta catch up. TikTok's the one you gotta catch up with now. Last article for today: California passes the Flash Act.
That type of flash?
That's going to be the thumbnail. Stands for the Forbid Lewd Activity and Sexual Harassment Act, because
Okay.
obviously they have to make a...
What I just did there, if I was nude, that would fall under the definition.
So what it is,
Ugh,
California...
I'm just thinking about that. Ugh.
California has passed legislation to ban the transmission of unsolicited sexual images or videos without the recipient's consent, commonly referred to as cyberflashing.
This is more of a civil than a criminal issue, though, right?
Right. So what is stated in the law so far is victims of cyberflashing have a private right of action against any person who knowingly or reasonably should know and that a lewd image they sent was unsolicited. The bill would entitle the plaintiff to recover economic and non-economic damages or statutory damages of $1,500 to $30,000.
So this is basically to deal with the unsolicited sending of dick pics.
Yeah.
Primarily,
Now
right?
it's not just the persons who if you just copy a picture
it.
of like a porn star and you send that,
Okay.
that would technically
Yeah,
be,
here in Canada we got a criminal law that kind of covers that as well. It's specific to technology, but this is civil. This is
civil. But again, if you send somebody a lewd naked image, they can sue you for $30,000.
Yeah.
$30,000.
Trust me, what you see if I was to do something like that is not worth $30,000. Just saying. Yeah, paint that picture. Don't think of a gray elephant right now. You just thought of a gray elephant, didn't you?
And that's our show. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
I'm Darren.
I'm Brandon. Stay safe. Bye, everybody.